Welcome to Glowing Success. I'm Heidi, your host. On this show, we dig into aesthetics, marketing, business strategy, wellness, and iridology. Whether I'm flying solo or sitting down with some incredible guests, this is your space to learn, grow, and build something beautiful. So let's get into this next episode. Today, I want to talk about intuition. Specifically, what happens when you get a nudge from somewhere like deep inside you and you honestly probably second guess it, much like myself. And then the universe basically sends you a receipt proving you were right all along with that little nudge, okay? So grab your tea, your water, get cozy, and let's get into it. So I want to take you back to a Reiki session I did recently. And if you're new here, I completed my Usui Holy Fire Reiki 1 and 2 practitioner training not too long ago. And it's also something I just been called to, and I was trusting that nudge. And so I took it, and I'm really glad I did. Now, if you're not familiar with Reiki, it's an energy healing modality. So as a practitioner, I'm essentially holding space and channeling energy. And sometimes things like come through to me, like impressions, words, feelings, knowings. And I honestly think that's what we call clairsentience. And so I tend to tap into clairsentience, or the ability to like feel energy, emotions, information beyond myself and the physical being in front of me. So during this particular session, I had a very strong clairsentient moment, a thought, a knowing that something came through to me like very clearly, and I did question it. So I remember thinking like, whatever, like maybe I'm just like thinking things, or maybe I'm just looking at this thing. But I will say, like, your inner critic sometimes is going to be very loud when you're kind of tapping into these things. But that actual like feeling, knowing, whatever you feel is always going to be kind of quiet. And for me, sometimes what it is like my right ear will ring, and sometimes it's telling me like I need to pay attention to something, or sometimes I just know. Sometimes it's very like one word will pop up, or like a phrase will pop up in my head, and it only will do it once. So sometimes I just have to really tune into that, right? So let me just take you back to this session, and so you can get some understanding here. So we were practicing distance Reiki. So sometimes in order to send Reiki to someone that isn't in person with you, you maybe want to like visualize on something physical. So you can do like a pillow, a teddy bear, like there's all sorts of different things, right? And not everybody needs to do this, but we're practicing all different modalities and different ways to do Reiki in our class. And so for this session, we had little beanie babies. And so we're practicing on these little plush bears, right? And we partnered up for this one as well. So our partner we're supposed to basically give each other names of someone in our life that it would be okay to send distance Reiki to, okay? So after my partner gave me her person's name, I instantly looked at the bear. And for some reason, whatever reason, my clairsentience was telling me to pay attention to the middle of the face and the left side of the head, okay? And once again, I second guessed this. I was like, whatever, okay, whatever. I'll figure it out as I go along. Okay. So once we started our Reiki session, I still felt that same energy in that part of the bear, or that part of like their face, right? So I still felt it. I still felt like kind of an energy block, energy shift, so to speak. And when I'm doing Reiki, that's kind of what it feels like to me. So I sent Reiki to those areas, didn't question it, just kept on channeling Reiki to those areas. And of course, once we were done, we exchanged like what we felt in our session, kind of how it went, all the things. And I told her, I was like, hey, actually, before we even started our session, our Reiki session, I instantly felt drawn to the middle of the face and the left side of the head. So that's where I sent Reiki. And I was like, I don't know if that makes sense to you or that person, but that's like what happened. So let's fast forward a little bit to like pretty much the week after I took the class. I've, been thinking about adding this to my wellness business, but some of me also just wants to keep it so I can self heal and maybe just like do Reiki and send channel Reiki to the people around me. But something kept on nudging me to offer this to people, but I was still unsure of it, right? I mean, it's new, it's something I'm just getting used to. I'm learning all about it still. I don't know, I'm just feeling unsure. So I was actually texting with a friend. This friend of mine has been doing Reiki for a long time and just, kind of expressing my thoughts. And I felt really good about doing that with this person. And I was expressing to her, like, I'm feeling a little bit of also imposter syndrome because, sometimes it's hard to like visualize something in your life. It's also hard to feel very secure with something that's completely new. But I keep on getting these nudges. And that's what I was telling her. I was like, I just keep on getting this like nudge to do it. And, so anyway, so I'm very thankful for the people around me that can listen to me because that was very helpful. So anyway, after we get done texting, I check my email. Now, mind you, I do check my email quite often, but for whatever reason, something inside me was checking, telling me check your email. But it was like late at night. I think this was like, I don't know, 9 or something or 8 in the afternoon. I don't know. So this was at night, and that's not necessarily a time I normally check my email. So anyway, something inside me was like, check your email. And I was like, okay. So I checked my email and I see that I got an email from one of the classmates. And it was my partner in that session. So I would like to read you this email. And I, of course, got her permission to share this. I'm going to keep everybody's names private, but she said I can share this email and the information. So here goes the email. I was your partner in remote Reiki practice. We were amazed that you were drawn to my sister's face since she had recently had surgery through her nose. You also said that she should pay attention to the left side of her face. I wanted to tell you that later that day, she realized she was getting a migraine because the vision in her left eye started to change. You have an incredible gift. I hope you will pursue it. It was lovely to be in class with you. Take good care. Now, if you can imagine, after I read that email, I was a little stunned, right? But honestly, I also had kind of a sigh of relief, right? I was looking for a sign, and that's probably why I messaged my friend, right? I was kind of needing that validation of some sorts, right? We're looking for those things. And if that's not a sign, I don't know what is, right? But here's what I've learned, and honestly, what that email reminded me is your intuition and the things that you're feeling is not random. It's not noise. It's actually information. And it is your body, your energy, your higher self, whatever you like to call it and whatever resonates with you, trying to get a message through that like static of doubt, right? That realness of doubt. So I'm going to ask you this. The question isn't whether to trust it. The question really is, and this is what I'm learning, is are you willing to get quiet enough to hear it? So for me, I passed off those feelings even before we started that Reiki session as just like, whatever, maybe that's the first thing I noticed on that bear. You know what I mean? Like, but there is something else that just kept me through it during the actual Reiki session too. And that's where I trusted it, right? So I want to share that story with you just because I think you are at a crossroads of some kind right now. And maybe it's a new service you've been afraid to launch. Maybe it's a client you felt something that you need to feel like you have to say something. Maybe it's a path that keeps calling you, something similar to myself. I just want you to listen to that, And if you get your receipt of sorts or your confirmation like I did, I hope you'll pause and, I don't know, let it actually land, not rush past it to the next thing, not just think that, you're weird for doing that. Really sit in it because I truly believe it's evidence that you're connected to something real, something different, something that's trying to tell you that, right? So I'm going to be doing the same thing. I am going to be offering Reiki sessions soon. I'm going to be practicing and getting better at my practice, of course, but I definitely want to see what that, has in store for me or how I can really help people and so forth. So Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, share it with somebody else who's maybe also in that in-between place right now or second guessing their intuition, because they probably need to hear something similar to this. Okay, until next time, and thank you for listening.